She's not handling our review of the show very.
Oh, Carl got a show. This is so sad. But so Carl's talking about a guy who has his wife on the show. Carl has his wife on the show, but their take is Calta has his wife on the show because she's hot. But Carl doesn't address the fact that his wife is on his show. She's not hot. And none of these guys bringing up that Carl's wife is on his show from time to time. They don't bring it up. But remember, Carl had this big point of Brennan won't let anybody on the show that disagrees with him. That was Carl's take. But Carl's wife is on the show. No one even mentions it here.
Very well. They put out a response. And this is on the Mike Calta radio show. He starts talking about this. And, of course, he does his show from his house. So his wife comes downstairs and joins the show to address this.
And after 8 solid episodes of me and my wife rambling on in our own podcast for our own fun and enjoyment, we've made it to the podcast called Who Are These Podcasts? And they review it, and they absolutely hate us and say it sucks and it's terrible.
So it's a couple convenient things right out of the gate. And he's taking this well, obviously. This is the way to respond to something like this. Like, yeah, they made fun of some stuff that,
Carl, you can make this clip private too. I have backup, so don't worry about it.
We weren't doing great. But I like that he says, my wife and I just doing the show to like amuse ourselves. Isn't that convenient when you want it to be?
Yeah. Does he really not want to get
Carl, why are you doing your show? Carl, why are you doing your show? Carl, why are you doing your show? Didn't you start out just as a goof, as convenience? I mean, Carl's take on everybody is so pathetic. He's doing it as a goof.
Yeah, we weren't doing great. But I like that he says, my wife and I just doing the show to like amuse ourselves.
He already has a job, Carl, right? Doesn't he? Why you do your show, Carl? Didn't you start out as a goof? Then Anthony Cumia jumped on board and E-Rock, and the rest is history.
Convenient when you want it to be?
Yeah. Does he really not want to get 20,000 views?
No. They're just putting it up on YouTube and promoting it all the time because they're just doing it for themselves.
What's the point? To give his wife a show?
What's he going to do when radio dries up? Which it's dry.
My call says he's got to be at least 60. What does he care when radio dries up? I mean, these guys sit there as such clowns. Go ahead.
Drying up.
Nobody mentions Carl does a show with his wife. She's a regular on the show. Nobody mentions that. Because you can't disagree with Carl. He gets very, Carl's very temperamental. He's very sensitive.
No, I think he's smart to do a podcast, but he should know. He knows what good content is.
Yes.
Why does he keep doing it with his wife?
Well, there's a theory out there. I think my buddy Patrick Melton, Nobody Likes Onions, was talking.
Oh, they're buddies. These guys act like they're all known commodities. My buddy from Nobody Likes Onions. Give him a shout out.
Talking about this.
He knows what good content is.
Yes.
Why does he keep doing it with his wife?
Well, there's a theory out there. I think my buddy Patrick Melton, Nobody Likes Onions, was talking about this. There are these guys, Aaron Himmelt's one of them, who feel a need to show off their younger, hot wife.
Oh.
Yeah, but then, Carl, that begs the question, why do you have your wife on your show? Because she's older and not hotter. She's not hotter than anybody. She might be hotter than you because you have 2 club feet and up teeth. But why do you have your wife on your show, Carl? Nobody brings up the fact that Carl's wife is on his show. Everybody just sits there. The elephant in the room, you can't mention it because Carl will get very butthurt.
Bro, and Mike's doing it. Rich Voss does it. Of course, his wife's a comic, so it makes a little more sense to have Bonnie McFarlane be the co-host. But do you see this a lot with podcasters?
I had not thought about that, Carl, because I think I would think the opposite, because his wife is very attractive.
Yeah.
Mike's heavyset. Some people might go, oh, wow, he's vulnerable. I got a shot at her.
Right, yes.
Right. So somebody's going to watch his podcast and then try to move in on a Mike Calta's relationship with his wife. I mean, these guys are such idiots. It really is spectacular.
Oh, yeah. This is a lustless marriage.
Carl, what is your marriage? Is it filled with lust? I mean, we saw the mandolin. This guy's a clown. Wow.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
What? So
I don't go figure. Can you imagine?
But maybe, no, you're right, though. Some guys do like showing off.
That's insecurity. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, Carl's secure. He doesn't worry about that. Nobody has pictures of Carl's wife.
So how did you turn that mic towards you and talk into it? So how did you heard me talking about it?
Yes.
Listen, there's going to be plenty of people that don't like the podcast. These guys have a podcast about podcasts that they don't like.
I know.
This is a badge of honor as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, who cares?
You made the cut.
Listen to me. There's no way you're going to do 8 episodes of something and it's going to be good in 8 episodes. It's going to take time. And over
I
time,
agree.
each one has gotten better. Who cares?
Okay, so again with the cope, guys. I mean, we're just starting out. Who cares? I didn't even want it to be good. Who cares? And plus, it's going to get better. I mean, we're just starting off, and I don't really care.
The cope? What, Carl thinks people actually care about what he says? He's only mentioning it because as a goof. Like, who are these? But Carl acts like his who are these podcasts is so big that like he's really Calta and his wife are really traumatized by the fact that they didn't like the first 8 episodes of the show. I mean, this is wow. And my boy Melton.
You're a radio personality for decades, and you think that we should be judging you based on only having 8 episodes under your belt?
Yeah, I think he should.
Yeah, with his wife. Yeah, they're feeling it out. Carl even knows he's a clown. Carl even knows that's a fact. You're doing a show with your wife. Yeah, you gotta work out the kinks. But again, nobody has mentioned the fact that Carl has his wife on the show. Nobody. Look at Chris on the bottom. He's a straight shooter. Nobody mentioned, Carl, don't you have your wife on the show from time to time?
Care more, and he probably does care more, but he's trying to mollify her or calm her
He
down.
doesn't care. He's had a job in radio for 4 decades. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't. I'll speak for him. He doesn't give a fuck. Especially that Carl and Drew and Brandon and the other guy at the bottom, that they don't like it. They're going to take down Calta.
And she's probably very upset about it because
She
she's never
is.
done
And I
that.
don't even like Calta. We all know that. But the fact of the matter is, Carl's a clown. These guys are clowns.
She is upset, and here comes more cope because now
More cope. Right. They got to deal with Carl. Carl's going after them. They got to cope. How are we going to cope with this?
first he started off with, "Isn't it great WATP recognizes this is what they're known for?"
It is a badge of honor.
It is.
It's amazing. It's a badge of honor. Again, Calta. When Calta does shows on YouTube, he did it with Bobby Kelly, he does it with his wife. Nobody watches, nobody cares. So he's thrilled, probably that someone's even watching and spending time. But again, Carl's got nothing better to do because he has to mix it up. He can't watch Stuttering John every day, and now he's got Steel Toe, so he's got to pretend like he does. He gets other targets, and now he's got Calta, and it's a badge of honor. Calta's just making conversation. It's not a badge of honor. Carl, you're a nothing show. And then people will be like, he's doing better than you. He's not. Let's get that 1099s all together. We already know what we made because we're done. YouTube, the next Patreon money will be in 2025. The next YouTube money for this month will be 2025. So we're all done. We're done. Fiscal years are over. Calta does not give a He when he did a show with Bobby Kelly, I've been on a couple of times. Nobody watches it. Nobody cares. So he can't believe. And again, Carl wouldn't go after Bobby Kelly because Vinny Paulino and Jim Florentine, they're all pals together. So the fact that anyone is watching Calta's show, Calta's like, oh, I guess that's something until he finds out it's nothing. Carl watching his show is nothing.
It's a badge of honor.
It's more attention for the show, for the podcast, which they
Right.
want to get out there.
It's
But
gonna
then
take
it
off.
turns-
It's going to take off.
Turns into we're just nerds in the basement. You gotta
And
go.
you're not, Carl. You got 2 club feet, and you do a show with your wife, and nobody's brought it up yet. And we're 7 minutes into this clip.
that around.
I didn't watch the whole clip, so I don't even know if they bring up at some point that Carl has his wife on his show. But we're 7 minutes into a 27-minute clip, and I didn't watch it in advance. There's no way.
Okay.
3 nerds sitting in a room pretending they have a show.
4.
They have we've been doing 8 episodes and they barely have double the amount of people we have watching. Who cares?
I get my feelings hurt easily.
Why? What is the did you hear what I said though? I defended.
First of all, she's got fake tits. His wife has fake tits. Calta told me that when I was did his show. He said he just bought his wife some tits or something. I don't know. But so again, fake tits, Tampa, Florida, everybody in Florida and California has fake tits. Even the guys.
Your Honor, the one thing that they did say was that you didn't know about the Wu-Tang Clan because you were wearing the shirt, and I know that's an outright lie.
I need them to know that.
Well, listen, who cares?
Oh, this isn't going to go well.
No, she's always.
This is what four men have nothing better to do than this. And again, does Carl pay these clowns to be on his show? No, it's a badge of honor to be on Who Are These Podcasts.
Acknowledging what upsets her, which is rule one about this sort of thing. And the fact that they don't think I know Wu-Tang Clan, I don't think she does.
Yeah, I don't think she's good at taking criticism at all. And also, I think Mike's math is off a little bit. I think you have more than double what we're doing there.
Yeah, he also says he has 5,000 views on videos. The one from 11 days ago is 1,600 views on it. So I might be inflating that.
Carl, you have a tiny, tiny little show. Remember, Carl? Remember your numbers are going up. Now they're going down. Now you're hiding your Patreon. You have a tiny, tiny, tiny little show.
A little bit.
Because he's a radio guy, he may have audio only. He may have a lot of people listening.
I do too.
Audio.
I have audio only too. We're not just on. He's a little off on all of this because he thinks that the video segment we put out about their show is the only place you would find that. He goes, "We did a whole episode about it." I was like, "No, that was just a segment on a full episode that's available behind the."
Right. Nobody cares, Carl. Nobody cares the breakdown of WATP. Nobody. That's a fact.
Hey, well, it's available for anyone for audio. That's free. There's a lot of places where people will hear this, not just the one spot.
Right.
You found it, but no, he's got it all figured out.
That's why when Carl does a gig, he can only sell tickets in Detroit, where he knows the DJ, and that's it. Now he used to, I guess, try to sell them in Florida, where he has his other house. But that didn't work out. And where else did that? Hackmania didn't sell any tickets. And then in Rochester in August. Remember when he tried to take down my channel? Remember, Carl? Remember active violence, Carl? Remember that? I do. Remember?
For a long time, and we only have twice as many listeners.
No, his math is convenient.
Right, you guys, right. It's like when Stuttering John goes, Brennan only has this much more than me. Right. Okay, do the math, John. Let's talk about money. I mean, these guys are like, no, we got all your numbers are bad. All your numbers are bad, Carl. Carl, your numbers are bad. That's a fact. You don't make any money. You have 4 clowns on. Do they get paid? Does anyone get paid over here? Or just Carl? Because, I mean, I used to think Tukey paid his guests, but he doesn't pay the orange. He doesn't pay the potato. So it's like, no, I don't pay them anything. So you know what that means to me? You know what that tells me? He don't make any money either. So Tukey and Carl, they don't make any money. That's a fact. Jack.
I'll call it.
Okay. And
off.
So he's trying to help out. He's trying to cope. He's trying to make Amanda know that this is.
Carl, aren't you trying to cope? Why is no one talking about it? Carl's wife being on his show, his 55-year-old wife. How come no one mentions that? Why does nobody mention that? I'm confused. Am I missing something? They can't mention the elephant in the room. What kind of coping are they doing? Carl will get mad. That's not the topic. The topic is Mike Calta and his wife with the fake tits.